final appeal to the voters. Democratic and Republican consultants are weighing in on the state of the race and the strategies that both sides have used in this recall election.
Our political reporter Greg Lee joins us now once again. He's been following the polls, the numbers, and the candidates in this recall, and he joins us now on this critical election day. Greg.
Hey, Heather, Alex, good afternoon. You will hear the same thing from all the candidates today, including the governor. The polls, the numbers, they don't mean anything on election day. All that matters are the voters and what they decide about the future leadership of this state. In these final hours, we spoke to strategists on either side of the aisle about what worked, what didn't, and what to expect. As Californians await the results of the gubernatorial recall election, both Democrats and Republicans remain confident in their desired outcome.
Governor Newsom has managed to bring the Democrats home. He has managed to nationalize this election, making less a referendum on him and more a referendum on national politics.
The fact that the recall has made it as far as it has, and we're here on election day, don't know what the outcome will be, that tells you something.
Stephen Maviglio is a Democratic consultant who worked for former Governor Gray Davis, who was removed by a recall election in 2003. He said the work Democrats did to close the enthusiasm gap with a hand from national figures like President Biden has given Newsom the boost he needed.
They really called out the cavalry nationally. They had a really great ground campaign, and those things combined with an overwhelming cash advantage led to what I believe will be a pretty resounding victory.
Former California Republican Party Chairman Ron Nearing sees the strategy differently. Like Newsom's opponents, he criticizes the governor for nationalizing the race instead of focusing on the management of the state.
Gavin Newsom's out of ideas, which is why he's had to make this recall about other people. It's astonishing that he brought in Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, et cetera.
The two strategists do agree on one thing. They believe conservative radio host Larry Elder entering the race actually hurt the recall and helped Newsom.
Larry Elder is the personification of what could go wrong if a Republican was elected.
There's no doubt that Larry Elder's candidacy has been hurting the recall. We know that because we know that as Larry Elder's numbers went up, the support for the recall went down.
As they prepare to watch the returns, both Maviglio and Nearing predict the outcome will reverberate throughout the state and beyond into 2022.
If he has a double-digit win, that is a mandate to continue doing what he's doing. It also sets him up for a strong re-election next year because he's consolidated all the Democrats.
Win or lose, the leader of the California Democratic Party, which is Gavin Newsom, is deeply unpopular. He has big problems within his own coalition.
Quick history lesson for you. The last time California had a recall election, 2003, 55% of voters decided to remove then Governor Gray Davis, a Democrat. His replacement, Arnold Schwarzenegger. There may be no person who understands more of what Governor Newsom is feeling tonight than Davis. Here's what he told me about those recall election night nerves.
Election nights are always involve a little anxiousness, a little nervousness, but that's because you've done all you can do. You've got the message out. You've gotten the vote out. You've done everything humanly possible. You kept the pedal to the metal. But now you just have to wait. It's like waiting for a jury to come back with a verdict. You just have to wait for the verdict of California voters.
Former Governor Davis told me he's confident Newsom will survive this recall. He said, regardless of the outcome, though, the most important thing is to be humble and be gracious. Alex?
Yeah, what a voice to hear from here on this recall election day, the former Governor Gray Davis. Hey, Greg, while I have you here, let's drill down on this point here that we heard in your piece. The analyst saying that essentially a double-digit win here in this recall election for Governor Newsom equates to a mandate here. How important do you think the Newsom camp views the margin of victory, assuming that he can survive this recall?
Well, Alex, not just the Newsom camp, but national Democrats. Many eyes are on this as sort of a precursor to what we're going to see in the midterms. If you keep in mind, in 2018, Governor Newsom won the election by 24 points, just a massive margin over John Cox. So certainly they would like to survive this, but they would like to survive it by big points so that looking forward to 2022, they believe that they are in the driver's seat. But again, there's a lot to watch for tonight, and we can't get too anxious about those first returns as a lot could change.
Yeah, let me ask you, what are the key things to keep an eye on as the polls close at 8 o'clock? We obviously know that mail-in voting, mail-in ballots, that's a huge chunk of votes that have already come in. Those are all pre-tabulated, ready to go. So we should be getting some of those returns pretty early, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So that first dump of numbers from the Secretary of State, about 8 o'clock, the vast majority of those votes will be mail-in ballots. And what we know from Political Data Inc. is that the vast majority of those returns have been from registered Democrats. We should also point out, though, that though the Newsom campaign has sort of painted this as a Republican recall, there may be disenfranchised Democrats who are upset about how the pandemic was handled. We know some of them have signed onto that petition to get this recall on the ballot. So those early numbers could tell us a lot about what we're going to see throughout the night. But what I am also looking for is the in-person voting. We know Republicans, after the presidential election in 2020, had their eyes on wanting to vote in person. So depending on what those lines look like, where Rob Roth was, depending how many Republicans came out tonight and today, that could really change and see if we see a red shift throughout the evening.
All right, a lot to keep an eye on tonight. You will be all over it, staying busy. Of course, KTVU political reporter Greg Lee. Appreciate your insight. And of course, you can stay with KTVU and KTVU.com for the latest on the California recall election.